Level 1 Computex 2019 coverage is made possible by ASRock. Yes, ASRock has sponsored our travel to come out to Computex, so I want to say thanks to ASRock. They've got a lot of new, exciting products here at Computex, not the least of which is X570. All of their X570 motherboards in the full lineup. We're going to have a video on that. You should check that out. There's a link in the description. Definitely check out their products. They've also got the Steel Legend, the Z390. So, if you're Team Red or Team Blue, it doesn't really matter. There's something there for you no matter what. Although, things are getting kind of interesting at this Computex. Also, I want to say a big thanks to Team Group. Team Group, they've got a lot of new, exciting SSDs and RAM and all kinds of stuff. And they also sponsored our travel out to Computex. So all of our Computex coverage for 2019 are thanks to those guys, because they made it so we could get here, which is really awesome. Now, Team Group is pretty exciting. We've got a full video of all the stuff that they've got going on at their booth. I've been using Team Group for many years, all the way back to I think the DDR2 or DDR3 days. Check them out. There's a link in the description. Alright, so I decided to stop by Lian, case manufacturer, but they're getting into fans and all sorts of other stuff. Aluminum is what they were famous for, but they don't necessarily have aluminum. They've got the Odyssey X. Now, this Odyssey is odd, because it's an X. You can actually rotate this case 90 degrees, so you can have a maximal airflow configuration or a minimal airflow configuration. The front panel can be relocated. So depending on how you've got your case rotated is an option. So here is the vertical configuration. So you can see that the glass panel's open a little bit and you've got a little bit more breathing room. That's an option. And then the front panel is on the front, but it would also be on the bottom. There's also a larger version of the Dynamic. So I reviewed the O11 Dynamic. This is the O11D XL. So it's got a lot more front panel I/O connectivity, tons of USB ports, not just, there, but also at the bottom. So if you need a lot more room, but you like the look of that, well, there it is. It's also the Land Cool 2. So these are magnetic panels everywhere. You get the tempered glass magnetic panel on the side. There's a little flip door on the bottom. The front and the fan mount are also held in place with clips and or magnetically. So it's a pretty cool little setup that they've got going on there with this particular case. It gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of how you're going to do maintenance and how you're going to do airflow in your system. So I could see having this as a workstation, so that you're doing stuff with mounting your radiator, and it's okay, now it's time to clean or whatever. This will be good. It just sort of snaps into place and you're good to go. The front panel connections are also quick release, so it's got this cool addressable RGB strip thing in the front, but when you pop the front off, it's got a quick release interface. So we've also got the O11 Dynamic, which I reviewed. We've got the cool custom mono block here. Honestly, they've got a lot of really amazing builds. There's a lot of stuff going on at the distribution block like this. This is cool. I could get into this now. If I do this, it's going to leak everywhere and I'm not going to notice. Not only will I destroy the components, everything will catch on fire because I'll have accidentally used an oil-based coolant or something. I don't know. But they had several different O11 Dynamic setups and it was really cool. And here's a pretty tricked out, Lian Dynamic O11. It's custom loop, of course. Lots of customized accoutrement. No Gucci. That's another pretty high-end system. So look at those edge flaps on the back of the desk. So this is the desk that I bought. Remember this? And I did a custom piece of tempered glass for mine so I could have my monitor arms. Motherboards are no longer captured inside the desk, so cabling them is a lot easier, although I think that they need a wire tray or something like that. I asked them about that. I'm going to see if I can't get a custom back part of the desk to swap out what I have. I'm here at GSkill. 5.2 gigahertz. Do you know how much, okay, so there's the speed of light. I'm always going on about the speed of light as a problem. 5.2 billion transfers per second. How far can light move in a vacuum in 1/5 billionth of a second? The answer? Not that far. That's really fast. 5.2 gigahertz and an MSI mini ITX motherboard. These are Intel systems that we're taking a look at, but yeah, 18, 22, 22, 22, 42 timings on the Z390i Gaming Edge AC, the 9700KF. GSkill is also showing off its award-winning memory, but they've got something new in store, a new arrival that should be ready for the 7.7 AMD launch. It's a pretty cool looking kit. We're not sure about the colors yet, 100%, but here's a preview. If you want to see that, comment below because they're looking at the comments. Let's take a look at the other systems. So Lian had a lot of overclocked systems set up. In addition to the 5.2 gigahertz or 5.2 mega transfers, they also had the Asus ROG custom loop purple, whatever this is, 16 gigabytes, 17, 17, 17, 37 at 5,000 mega transfers per second. Then we got the Trident Z RGB, also 16 gigabytes, also running at 18, 24, 24, 54. So that's on an EVGA motherboard. The EVGA Dark, the cool kid on the block. Then we got the 384 gigabyte of memory system, which we'll talk more about in a minute. But look at the distribution block, and that's EK. That's some high-end stuff. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack in this system. We've also got a really cool setup. This is an X99 setup. This is 1.4 volts, 64 gigabytes. This is the Rampage 6 Extreme Omega. An i9. It's dual, or I guess it's just a single GeForce RTX 2080 OC. So again, custom loops, pretty awesome. And these systems are just they're pretty, but I mean, a custom loop like this, I want 5 years to set it and forget it. Like, I want to throw it under my desk, and I don't want to forget about it. But there's no denying that these are labors of love, and it's always nice to see a labor of love. This is the MSI Meg Z390 Ace, so 4.2 mega transfers per second. We got 4.4 mega transfers per second. The Z390 Gaming X or Gaming 10. I'm not sure if it's Gaming X or Gaming 10. We get the Crystal memory. It's from GSkill. GSkill's booth is always just completely insane, over the top. There's just so much going on here. Just so much. So many custom systems and so much liquid nitrogen. 4.4 million mega transfers per second on the Z390 Aorus Extreme, 18, 19, 19, 39, in a fractal case. I'll let you in on a secret. 32 gig sticks of memory. We're talking unbuffered, no error correction. This density of memory you normally, right now at least, see in notebook memory. These 32 gig DIMMs are different than the other 32 gig DIMMs that you may have seen, where it's like a double stack kind of a situation where some motherboards will let you address more than one DIMM through a physical socket, which is really kind of like having two physical sockets, but just in one socket. Sort of a weird situation. But this is actually 32 gig sticks of memory. It is actually that density. It's the future, because you can't buy them yet. Yeah, 4 gigahertz, 384 gigs of memory. This is like, who is gonna buy this? Well, me. I'll probably buy this. I need RAM. I need RAM for stuff. Although error correcting on that much memory would be nice. Registered memory with that much memory would be nice. And then there's even more case mods. So around the perimeter of the booth, there's all these different builds with varying levels of practicality. Got the crystal memory with the RGB configured for red. The GSkill was also displaying, they won some awards. Their memory, the Sniper X memory, and some of the other popular stuff, and then their past RGB memory, European Hardware Awards. GSkill memory is insanely popular. I mean, that's what I've used in a lot of our Threadripper systems because it's fast and stable. Samsung B-Die, but B-Die is basically end of life now. Samsung's replacing it. So, this is Elmore's liquid nitrogen cube. This thing uses a tank of liquid nitrogen a day, but 5.7 gigahertz on this thing. That's basically stable. I mean, yeah, that's pretty nuts. 5.7 gigahertz, a tank of liquid nitrogen a day, and you get that kind of an overclock. That's really insane. They've also got a beer tap that's more beer tap than computer, but let's take a look at that. I have no words. It's a 6-core, 12-thread beer tap with two 360mm radiators and literal beer, I guess, going through the radiator. It's an Apex Legends loot bot with a 2080 Ti inside it. Okay. I mean, that's fine, right? I mean, that's okay. Oh, some modder has a great sense of humor. There's so many other cool modded systems here. This is the the Core i9 scaled up with the Core i9 inside it. So it's like the Core i9 packaging with like a Core i9. Get the little mini ITX system basically inside the cube with tons of RGB lighting. It's a little over the top, but isn't that true of all of the mods here? I mean, it's just so shiny, so pretty. What is going on with this build? That's pretty cool. I mean, it's like I was inspired by the Core i9 packaging. It's like, okay, there we go. Looks like it would actually hold a larger motherboard if needed. There's also this build from Mad Max, which was particularly inspiring. Looks like an old motorcycle, like the motorcycle engine, I guess, but liquid cooling and yeah, fully modded PC. You can do all your computation on that. Fully upgradable for the future, because why not? Somebody went nuts with welding and polishing in the base. Lots of airflow, so that's pretty awesome. Let's spend a quick look at Lian Li and GSkill. I'm Wendell, this is level 1, I'm signing out, and I'll see you in the forums.